Good morning. We hope you enjoyed hearing Dan read the story yesterday. Are we there yet? Most parents can relate. Are we there yet is a phrase we hear all the time going on trips, and even some adults may say it to one another. Today's story picks up a little bit after our famous egg, Humpty, falls off the wall. And then this is a story about how he kind of gets back together again and gets back up. So it's also a good story about life. Sometimes it'll knock you down and you just have to get right back up and keep moving forward. So without further ado, here's our story. After the Fall, how Humpty Dumpty got back up again by Dan Santat. My name is Humpty. Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot high up on the wall. I know, it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I love being close to the birds. Then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand, but it was just an accident. But it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. They do always put the good cereal at the top. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city. But I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. And then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day I kept trying and trying. Until I got it just right. My plane was perfect. It flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. I almost walked away again. But then I thought about the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Crack, crack, crack. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. And learned how to fly. And that's our story. So, hopefully you enjoyed that story and about persevering and getting back up and conquering a fear. So hopefully you can go out and conquer a fear today. And that was our story. Come back tomorrow and we'll hopefully have another Dance Tap story. If you liked our stories and want to hear some of our other ones, check out the links here and here. And if you want, hit that subscribe button up there in the top. And we'll see you tomorrow.